can start.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'm pretty fast at my queries and submissions.
You started with so. You have to start over.
Oh, did I pride myself in the fact that I'm pretty fast at my queries and submissions.
Me too.
Yeah. I usually respond to most of my queries in a week if I'm in the office.
Yeah, about that.
And submissions right now, I am reading the submissions in the month we're in.
Yes, that's where I like to stay. Otherwise, I get a little overwhelmed and
Yeah.
I'm OCD, as you know.
But we're special.
Yeah, of course. Not everyone is that quick.
No.
And when not everyone's that quick, you got to do some nudging.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, everybody hates following up on things. Agents hate, pushing editors on submissions, and authors hate pushing agents on submissions, but it is a necessary evil.
Yes, and the first place to start is with that agency's guidelines on their website.
Yes, please.
Every agent has different sets of guidelines. I can't even tell you ours.
I believe our response time on queries is 4 to 6 weeks.
And our submissions are 12.
8 to 12 weeks. Yeah, right. So up to 12 weeks. I would do your best not to nudge before those times. If for some reason an agency does not have a time frame listed, you could probably use 4 to 6 weeks on queries and 8 to 12 weeks on submissions as a general guide for any agency that doesn't have it listed. Do not nudge before the end date. So don't nudge at 8 weeks on a submission and say, I know your time frame is 8 to 12 weeks, but I haven't heard anything yet, because it hasn't been 12 weeks.
Right.
I also find this weird thing. It doesn't happen as much anymore because I don't request as much, so I don't have a backlog like I used to. But sort of consistently, authors would nudge at exactly the 12-week mark, and sadly, my rejection was crossing paths with the nudge, and so it looked like the nudge created the rejection, which it never does, unless you're nudging every 5 minutes, then it might.
So how do you go about even wording the nudge?
I think it's just a matter of saying, following up on the query I sent such and such date, looking forward to hearing from you. I would say simple. Submission. I don't know if you follow up on queries. I mean, BookEnds policy is to respond to everything. So my thinking on that is if you haven't heard on a query, I think Query Manager, though, gives you a status update.
They give you the link and you can track it.
Yeah, so you can track it, so you should know whether it's been responded to or not. So if it hasn't with a query, I would just assume it hasn't been gotten to yet.
Yes, for BookEnds specifically.
Yeah, but there are some agents who the no response means no, which I know is stressful to authors. The way I always think of that is if you haven't had a response in the 6 to 8 week or 4 to 8 week, 4 to 6 week query response time, whatever it is, then just assume after the end of that response time that it has to pass.
Yeah, so if you are finding yourself desperate for an answer, check those guidelines, and if you've surpassed them, send a gentle nudge. If not, hang tight. Hopefully you will receive a response soon.